morning, my little bugs. How is everybody? Did you get a good night's sleep? Everybody got their thinking caps on, feeling good? Because we're going to learn a little bit more today on lesson 4 about Western Canada. So what it says is, come visit our home province. Gather Round is based in northern British Columbia, and if you follow the Alaska Highway south from Yukon, you will find yourself in British Columbia. This province has been Rebecca's home for most of her life, and she's excited to share the place she calls home with you. If you hear people talking about Western Canada, they are often referring to the western 4 provinces of British Columbia: Alberta, Saskatchewan, that's a mouthful, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. You guys are going to have to forgive me on my pronunciation. I'm doing the best I can. However, in this lesson, we are going to look specifically at British Columbia. This province has a unique culture and geography among the western provinces of Canada. It is a vast land area full of islands, mountain ranges, plateaus, and valleys, creating unique climates and cultures that are in some ways independent from much of the rest of Western Canada and even from other parts of the province itself. Activity break. Rebecca has lived in many places in British Columbia due to Jonathan's career with the RCMP. See if you can find the following towns and cities on a map of British Columbia: Midway, Chase, Masset, and Fort St. John. Okay, let's talk about the land and the animals. British Columbia is a province with many different landforms. In addition to one of the most impressive mountain ranges in the world, you will find cold northern boreal forests, beautiful warm river valleys, and temperate rainforests along the coast and on the islands belonging to British Columbia. Excuse me. Due to these vast and diverse ecosystems, you will encounter many different species of both plant and animal life. Plant life in the north is hardy and can withstand winter temperatures of minus 40 degrees. The same in Fahrenheit and Celsius. As you travel south through the interior, the thriving plants are different, including the famous Okanagan Valley, fruit orchards, and vineyards. These plants would die in the winters of most other Canadian climates. The West Coast supports a wholly different type of environment known as Canada's rainforest. A rainforest must receive a lot of rain every year. Most rainforests are tropical, often located close to the equator, and very hot all year round. Canada's rainforest is a temperate rainforest, meaning it is not tropical. The temperature will hover near freezing in the winter and not get much warmer than 80 degrees in the summer. This stretch of land along the coast of BC receives about 120 inches of rain every year and provides the plants with a constant supply of moisture. This contributes to wet moss coating most of the forest floor and incredible trees that can't be found anywhere else in Canada. This Canadian rainforest provides a habitat for many different animals. Many varieties of salmon swim upriver so they can reproduce each fall. These amazing fish are hatched in rivers and then swim to the ocean where they live most of their lives. When they are fully mature, they will swim upriver to the place they were hatched to reproduce. As they head upriver, they turn bright red. They overcome amazing obstacles on their way upriver, such as rapids and waterfalls, and determinedly swim and even jump out of the water to get where their instincts tell them to go. When they get to the spawning ground, they reproduce and die soon after. The decaying fish can be found floating in the rivers, making an easy fall-time dinner for the bears, wolves, large cats, and other animals that live in the rainforest along the coast. Vancouver Island is home to what remains of an ancient forest. In Cathedral Grove, you will find trees that are about 800 years old. They can be as tall as 250 feet and measure 29 feet around. That's huge, you guys. That's like the size of your house, isn't it? This part of Vancouver Island experienced a forest fire approximately 350 years ago. But this grove of trees remained and has survived even through European colonization of the island and modern industry. The trees found here are large versions of Douglas fir trees and ancient fed cedar. The indigenous peoples from these rot-resistant wait a minute, I lost my place. Sorry, you guys. The indigenous peoples of the island used the red cedar for many things essential to their survival. They made dugout canoes from these rot-resistant trees that were used for fishing and travel. They were also used in the building of their traditional homes and in crafting iconic totem poles. The inner bark of the tree was woven to create everything from baskets to ropes to clothing. Each part of the tree had a use, and the indigenous peoples used every part of it. Here's an extension activity. Look up pictures of Cathedral Grove and pictures of the inside of Gothic cathedrals and see if you can point out any similarities. Do you think there's a reason that the grove is called Cathedral Grove? Cute little picture. All right, so what kind of food does British Columbia have? British Columbia has a wide variety of foods that are produced within the province. The Pacific Ocean is home to a vast array of wildlife, and people from all over come to fish for various kinds of salmon, as well as halibut, rockfish, crab, and shrimp. Yum! The farming industry within the province is vast and varied depending on the climate. There are many berry farms and dairy farms in the Lower Mainland, and the Okanagan Valley can provide many different types of fruit along with all kinds of vegetable produce. You can also find farms in BC that produce many different crops and ranchers raising cattle across the province as well. British Columbia is also well known for its multiculturalism, which is displayed in its food, particularly in Vancouver. You can find a restaurant from almost any ethnicity within any city block. Within the last decade, the multicultural flair for food has found its way even to the north, with many small towns boasting multiple ethnic restaurants such as Chinese, Vietnamese, Indian, and Filipino. I've actually been to Vancouver several times, you guys, and it is gorgeous. The food is great. The city's clean. It's just amazing. Excuse me. The history and the culture. Okay, let's look at, in BC, you will find bustling urban centers, beautifully established agriculture, and vast wilderness, depending on where you travel in this beautiful province. The unique culture has and is developing within these different contexts. Vancouver is Canada's third largest city, with over 2.2 million people living there. Over 50% of the population of Vancouver claims English as their second language, and it is possibly the most ethnically and linguistically varied city in Canada. Vancouver is home to Canada's largest shipping port and has a strong and varied economy, from tourism to natural resources to small business. It's beautiful. It really is, you guys. It's a gorgeous place. Wintertime is gorgeous. People go up there to ski. Summertime, it's beautiful. There's a lot of parks. Culture. You get to learn a lot about museums and art and other things. It's really quite something to look forward to in your future. There are huge numbers of immigrants living here, contributing to its diversity, and people are often drawn here knowing that they will likely be able to find a community of people they can identify with. Vancouver is also known for having a mild winter compared to the rest of Canada. Many people move to the Lower Mainland from other parts of BC and Canada for this reason alone. But Vancouver is not the only BC community inviting people from other cultures. Even small communities are being impacted by immigration, and the culture is changing as a result. From doctors to students in colleges, even in small communities, the people of British Columbia are learning to live with others in a productive way. Here's a hands-on activity. This is one of my favorite subjects. Totem poles are used by the Indigenous peoples to tell stories about their families and their lives. Draw a picture like a totem pole that has symbols stacked on top of each other that represent events or things in your life. Now I know, Zachariah, you'll be really good at this. Joshua, you're going to give it your best shot. Jazzy, this should be right up your alley. Grace, I know you're going to be good at this too. Charlie, just copy. I think Mommy can help you with this, but it's really easier than you think. All right, my little darlings, get out your notebooks. It's time to listen to Mommy. So, you know what I say. Granny loves you very, very much. I pray for you every day. Hope that you're getting along and taking care of each other, being nice to each other. Don't yell at each other too often because that's just not good for you. Make sure you kiss and say thank you to your parents, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.